Hey everybody, this is Lee from Poplar Point Studio. I am here at the end of the day. I am unboxing some trial plants that we just got today. They came on a FedEx truck. I'm super excited. There's a lot of plants. This is actually 400 plants. And I wasn't expecting them to come on a pallet this small, which means that we have a lot of unboxing to do. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, I am about to unbox all of these amazing plants. We got access to some trial plants from Proven Winners. They're testing out whether or not these plants really perform as well as they're hoping. And we got access to about 445 plants. So these plant tags arrived about 10 o'clock this morning, and I opened the box and I got super overwhelmed because I didn't realize how many we had said yes to. And then all these tags showed up and I'm like, oh, okay, we have a lot of plants coming. But I didn't know when the truck was going to show up. Then the truck got here and now we've unboxed it, and then we have to unbox again because there's specific varieties of plants in each of the boxes. So this box has one variety, this box has another variety. So I need to check and make sure that every box is opened to see how the plants are looking. Depending on how they shipped, some of them may have had the roots dry out. I have to put them in water right away. Otherwise, we're going to get a potting party started tomorrow, and we will get all of these planted up in these beautiful Proven Winner pots. Okay, so this is the first box. We're opening what's supposed to be clematis. So we're going to see how that looks. I'm going to try not to hurt the plants. Okay, so this is a little baby clematis. There's teeny little buds going and a ton of root system. So I'm super excited about this. They still have some moisture, but we'll put them in water anyway and then get them ready to repot tomorrow. There's a ton of them in here. I do the count, but I think there's like 25 of everything we're going to unpack. So you don't want to watch me unpack all that, but trust me, there's a lot of plant material here. I'm super excited. All right, this guy is Echinacea Orange You Awesome. That's cute. So yeah, these have had a little moisture being in a box for a couple days. But we'll pull some of the not great looking leaves out. So these actually look okay. I'm just gonna prune some of the junky stems off, and that's actually looking really good. I mean, that'll fill in here, and that's a 22, 24 inch plant when it's happy. So we'll get this in a good sized pot. If I put him in here, give him a couple weeks, that'll root up really well. I'm excited to see these guys actually filling in, and it's a really beautiful orange color that's gonna be. All right, so this is a little sedum. All right, little baby plants. Okay, so they cut the roots off of the bottom to make it a little easier to ship. And sedums don't typically need a ton of root system for them to grow. These guys right here that are white are gonna turn green as soon as they get light. They've been in a box, they've been in a FedEx truck. They just need some light, and they'll green up in a couple of days and be super happy. Give them a couple of weeks and they'll actually look like a real plant rather than just this weird little gnome head here. Okay, so this box has one of my favorite plants. This is called Baptisia, which is a spring bloomer, and they're usually like a prairie plant that is blue or purpley in color. And this one is called Decadence Lemon Meringue, and it's actually a little bit of purple in the back of a full yellow stem, which is very exciting to have the two colors together. So I'm excited about these guys. Whoa! Look at those roots! Look at that! That looks so cool! So this is what the roots look like if they were in the ground. You just don't get to see this. That's a lot of root system. These are actually a much larger perennial, which is why they have more root than some of the other things we're going to unbox that have short root systems. These guys are going to be a 3 to 4 foot tall plant, so they need a lot more energy to be taking up in order to grow that strong. So these guys all start out super small. This is about the right time of year for them to start coming a little bit taller, but that's a lot of root. I'm super excited. Okay, so this is another one of the bigger perennials. This is going to be a perennial hibiscus. They come back year after year. We planted some up from an earlier summer trial that we got from Proven Winners, and I just saw this teeny little sprouts coming up, and they've been in pots for almost 2 weeks, and I was afraid they weren't going to make it. So just like this at your own home garden, these are a little bit late to come up, and then they're crazy big. These ones are going to get about 48 inches tall, and they'll grow that much in a season. At the end of the year, you cut them back to the ground, and they come back beautiful in these big saucer plate blooms every year. All right, these are big suckers. Okay, these are great looking. All right, so these look about exactly like they did for the last unboxing we did. It's a stalk, which is what last year's stems were, and then these are all of the fresh roots. These could go out another 1.5 feet, which is probably why they trimmed them, and then they'll regenerate and get totally new growth here. But none of these have little buds yet, so we'll put these in pots, and it'll probably take a couple weeks before we see growth, but we're going to have trust and faith that I'm going to learn how to grow plants this year. But they look really healthy. I'm excited to see how these turn out. So these guys actually weren't on my plant tag list. These are Alliums, which are a spring blooming plant that are perennial. Big purple globe. Yay! All right, so there's greenery, which also means there's a lot more moisture, so we're gonna have to make sure that these guys get potted up pretty quickly. Okay, so I thought something was weird about the bag because it smelled funny, and then I remembered that Allium are in the onion family, and of course they smell funny, but it's definitely like not a plant smell I like. This is, I don't like the smell of this root, but I might like it later, but yeah, the onion family, not my favorite, but that's how it goes. It's awful. These smell awful. So this guy we're going to unbox is a Dianthus. I actually really like this plant. They're a cute little border plant, about 6 to 8 inches tall. Long summer bloom, kind of icy blue foliage, and hot pink, usually pinks or whites in the flowers. So this one's called the Paint the Town Fuchsia, which is kind of a cute little name. We'll see how it looks. There's flowers, guys! There's little flowers! Look at how cute that is. Okay, so this is a tray. They're not bare rooted. So the downside of what's happening with this tray is that these guys have been watered before they got shipped so that they'd make it through the couple days without water. But because it's in the box, it also held the moisture in. So these guys are really, really wet on top, and they're gonna need a day or two to dry out, just because I don't want them to get any fungus or diseases because of all the moisture built up. So these guys probably leave alone for a day. I'll leave them in a different area of the greenhouse so that we don't re-water them already. But it's a cute little carpet. I actually kind of like it in a little grid, but clearly they need to be in big swaths or outplanted in a bed, but they're really cute. Okay, so for this next one, we're unboxing a perennial called Cat's Meow Nepeta, which is a catmint, and they're a cute little border perennial, long bloom, bright kind of bluish purple flowers late in the summer, and I'm excited to see what they look like. There we go. All right, lots of root. It's easier for me to see this because I know what to look for, but there is little buds coming up, getting started on this guy, little purple. They'll green up here soon. But a lot of root system that feels very good and healthy. There's enough moisture. I'm not super worried about these, but we'll definitely need to get them potted here quickly. And that's going to be a good, healthy, like 12 to 18 inch plant. It's kind of amazing what that comes from. Okay, so we have another Nepeta in this one. This one is called Cat's Pajamas. The other one was Cat's Meow. This looks like it's a little bit darker bluish color, 12 to 14 inches tall. And it is one of the perennial plants of the year. So we're gonna give this a try too. Oh, plant babies. All right. You see those? Okay, so these have a smell too, like the onions did, but this is a lot nicer smell. Okay. These have definitely been in a little bit too much moisture all at once, so they're gonna need a day or so to dry out because there's some leaves that are getting essentially rotted because it's too much moisture. But give it a day or two, a couple days, they'll dry out and they'll be just fine. Okay, so this next plant is called Going Bananas. Yeah, we are. This is in the Hemerocallis family, or daylily if you want to be like a normal person and call it what you'd call it, which is a daylily. The variety name is called Going Bananas, and it's a beautiful creamy yellow color. This is supposed to get between 19 and 22 inches tall. That's very precise. I'm gonna actually see it if it's 19 to 22 inches tall when we get it in the ground. But I'm excited to see this kind of yellow, this kind of buttercream next to some of the blues that we've got with the mix, which should really be quite a lovely thing late in summer. Okay, these have been in a bag for too long. There is some mold happening. They'll air out and it'll grow new stuff, but definitely these have been a little bit too moist. But they're looking good and they'll clean up fast. Daylilies and hostas are some of the easiest plants to divide because you can literally, see this, you can literally chop it in half and it's not gonna hurt the plant. And that'll just grow totally new roots. It'll be fine. So this one plant should get that almost like 2 foot tall and wide, and they'll green up a lot more. That's kind of like the chartreuse kind of yicky whitish green, and it'll get, look, a normal vibrant green here in like a week or so as soon as it gets sunlight. So this whole pile, we've got a little bit of moisture issues, so as soon as we get them in pots, they'll be a lot happier. So we've unboxed half of the plants. Tune in for the next video to see the rest of them.